be, as our enemies want, framed as Islam versus the West, or it will be as we want it framed, as moderates of whatever faith, colour or race, against extremism, however it manifests itself. Fellowship, tolerance, respect towards others, against difference used as a reason for hate. That is the struggle we confront, and it is the struggle we must win. We know where Al Smith would have stood. The same place where today the charities to which tonight's dinner will contribute stand, playing their part in helping the disadvantaged, the despairing, the sick in body or in mind. The place where we strive to make the world better and more just. And I am sure that Governor Al Smith would be incredibly proud of what his great-grandson Al Smith is doing here and now for the people of this state. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so proud to have been asked to be here tonight. Please don't wait another 60 years before the next British Prime Minister turns up. I know, as Al indicated, over the years, our two countries have from time to time had their differences. I see Tim Russell here, who interviewed me once. And you may remember that just before the cameras were rolling in the interview, he said, "Do you want some tea or coffee?" And I'm afraid I said, rather rudely, "I don't think the Americans really do tea." To which he replied, "Well, we did leave rock and a lot of it at the bottom of Boston." I feel my reflection, Tim, is that this man was too good to be a journalist, but anyway. One thing, however, we have learned together, and that is courage in the face of challenge. And that courage in the face of challenge is in many ways the reason for these dinners over the past 6 decades in memory of Al Smith. In 1928, when he was fighting the presidential campaign, he suffered an extraordinary onslaught on him and on his family. There were even advertisements taken out declaring that the Pope would move to Rome if Al Smith was elected president. You look back on it now and it seems so old-fashioned, so out of date, so extraordinary. And yet at the time, it was so raw and so real. And thanks to his courage, thanks to the way he stood up for what he believed was right, afterwards, America reflected on what had happened. And I believe, in no small part, what Al Smith went through in 1928 made life easier for a young politician who addressed this gathering in 1960, John F. Kennedy. What this teaches us, above all else, is that despite all the challenges of the world, there are always grounds for optimism. And whilst our two great countries work together, I do feel optimistic. I feel optimistic about our values. I feel optimistic about their ability to help us make progress. I feel optimistic about the future in which my children will grow up. They will have their challenges too, but if they have just a little of the spirit that motivated Governor Al Smith from his humble beginnings through to the great things he did in life, then I believe they will do well, and maybe is their father proud. So thank you all for the honour you've given me this evening. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity, and most of all, for the fortune of you in all that you do. Thank you.